Good, everybody. Welcome back. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the basement, where theology meets the thoughts of life. Good to be back here again on the basement on Wrath and Grace. So make sure you share and spread the word. Let people know. Every week we go on sharing like the video. Facebook.com/Wrath and Grace is the site. So I believe whether you have a Facebook or not, I believe people can actually see it. They might have changed it, but I don't think so. Facebook.com/Wrath and Grace. You can go there and check it out. We do have a group page on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/the basement. And that is where the announcement is made for the podcast. Also, where we ask questions preceding the episode. So that's our group page, Facebook.com/groups/the basement. We do have a Patreon page, Patreon.com/thebasement717. So make sure you pray about supporting or just pray for us. We definitely need it in the season. It's much needed. It's hard to do a podcast every week while planning a church and doing all the things we do behind the scenes in our families and our ministries. So it's very challenging. And then it was the added challenge with school now on the table. You know what I'm saying? So we got that going on too. So just keep us in prayer, and we greatly would appreciate it. The one thing I want to highlight is the fact that we do have an app on WG Universe. If you look that up on the App Store, WG Universe is what the app is called. And so if you want to, you could download the app and then get involved with the website that way. So shout out to all of y'all watching the game and not us. Boston Celtics against the Golden State Warriors.
I'll be watching this after that.
Yeah,
I'll be watching that after this.
Yes.
I'll say it like that.
So it might be a short episode today. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But anyway, what's up, bro? How you been?
I've been good. I figure we're going to talk about what's going on in just a second anyway. Let's just get right into the question for the audience. Tonight, we're going to be talking about trending news topics. We're going to be talking about what's going on in our life, what has been happening. Probably give some updates on the Basement podcast, and then open the floor for Q&A. So anyone that has any questions right now, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. We're going to start going forward with this content. This is episode 118 of The Basement, where theology meets the thoughts of life. Thinking Out Loud Part 2. Mm-hmm. So, I threw the first question out there for the audience. We can answer that too. What has life looked like for you lately? Busy or not? If so, what have you been doing? If not busy, why not?
Yeah, good question. And that's for y'all in the comment section too. What's up, Michael Steele? I see you. What's up, EC? What's up, Scott Crawford? Got to see him at Banner of Truth.
What's going on, fam?
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Why don't y'all go ahead and answer that for us? Those of you that are watching it right now, feel free to be in the comment section. Feel free to answer the questions that we throw out there. We always like to come to the basement with content material, but also have discussion with you guys. So
definitely ask questions whenever, and we'll try to interact with that.
If you haven't done it already, go ahead and like it and share the video. You guys know how the algorithms work on social media.
Yeah, man.
So what's life look like for you lately?
Busy, lot going on, trying to manage. I'm going to Florida next week with my wife and John and Kathy and the kids. So we're looking forward to doing that. Just getting some time away. Definitely not having school is a plus and a minus, because I like learning. You know what I'm saying? But definitely it's good to take a little break. So right now I'm reading through the Desert Fathers of the 4th century, and I'm learning a lot. Right now I'm learning their hermeneutic and the scriptures they used. And so that's where I'm at.
So in how many different ways are they better than the Puritans?
You serious? I'm not trying to get in trouble with my mans. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about the Desert Fathers a little bit.
Yeah. I
First of all,
yeah.
it's funny that they're called Desert Fathers because most of them were like celibate, right?
Yeah, they chose that life. Yeah,
so they weren't
route.
Physical fathers a lot of times.
There was a couple that were married, but
few in number though.
Very few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just read the section where they're compared to the Stoics and the Greeks and their Platonic philosophies on aestheticism and all that. And the book did a good job in contrasting the two and how much they're not alike. I thought that was real important.
What was the book? What was it called?
I have it right here. Let me.
This is free marketing, free promo for whoever wrote the book.
Now I can't vouch for the person necessarily. Like I don't.
Who wrote that? Stephen
Douglas Burton. Nah, not even close. But Douglas Burton Christie, The Word in the Desert, Scripture and the Quest for Holiness in Early Christian Monasticism. So that's the book that I'm reading. I mean, it's pretty good. He's well resourced. You know what I'm saying? At the end of each chapter, he has pages of resources that he used. So I appreciate the time. He put in a lot of work into that. And it's I don't know him and his character, but definitely his scholarship is on point. From the resources he's pulling. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, man. I'm hoping to write a little something at the end of summer on Moses the Ethiopian. I'm intrigued by his life, so I'm trying to get all the background of what he walked into in northern Egypt when he decided to convert to the Christian faith. So right now I'm just studying what they used scripturally, even orally. They were very heavy into oral tradition of the scriptures. And then there's some misnomers about them, and there's some things that are true. The northern Desert Fathers were accused of Gnosticism, and there's some truth to that. Some of them dig into that. So that's interesting. The southern ones really were trying to be more faithful than the northern ones, or something like that. But
sounds a little bit like Israel.
Yeah, right. It's like an East Coast, West Coast beef,
I was thinking about Israel, the northern tribes of Israel versus the southern tribe of Judah. Yeah. Judah stayed faithful longer than the northern tribes did. Right. So are they the new Israel? Is that what you're saying with the Desert Fathers?
I ain't saying none of that. You're trying to get me in trouble.
You're into like a new form of replacement theology?
Nah, bro. I'm good. No, but it's real intriguing. I even got a Sahidic version of the New Testament that I'm looking at to see how it kind of, just to try to get the understanding of like their culture and what Moses, the Ethiopian, walked into. So I'm getting a really good, understanding. So I could, whatever I write, I can understand the background and the culture a little, as much as possible. So
yeah. I would just to answer that one, that question, which is what life has been like for me. Craziness. I'm not reading the Desert Fathers, but sometimes I feel like I'm in the desert with it as a father. Right. Actually having kids, not just being celibate. No.
So good done. Tiff, are you watching? Yeah, she is watching, bro. So,
yeah, she is. But yeah, no, life has been crazy. You know what though? Because everybody in the comment section is like, yo, life is busy, life is crazy, right? Everybody saw this coming. So remember whenever COVID hit, life slowed down like crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody kept on saying, man, life before COVID, like maybe it was good that COVID came because it slowed everybody down, right? At least one part of it, right? One part of it might have been good. There were some benefits to everything shutting down and, good. Life slows down. We went right back to doing what we said we should have not been doing before.
Right.
So during the pandemic, everybody was like, yeah, see, this is what life should be like. It's nice and slow. It's not getting too caught up. We're not getting too caught up in the affairs of the world. I feel like everybody is right back. And I feel like we're even running faster than we were before COVID. Because we're trying to play catch up 2 years later. we're looking around and going, yo, the last time life was normal was 2019. So you're talking about 3 years ago.
Yeah. And then psychologically too, right? Right now it's hard to find counselors. They're backed up.
Even
months.
going to the doctors takes a while.
Backed up for months, you know.
Dentist a while. Like,
yeah. If you're in the counseling field, you're doing well, you know, because we're having a hard time finding counsel for some of our people. Like,
yeah,
therapists and counselors, man, it's just very hard to find right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Life is backed up. The world is constipated. So yeah.
Somebody said that in the comment section?
No, I did.
No doubt.
Garrett said busy isn't a busy enough word to describe life right now.
Right.
Lydia said busy out here bringing life into the world, literally. She is a doula, a birthing doula. She was actually our doula. She was
nice.
Amazing. Those of you that are looking for one, go ahead and talk to her.
We have a new guest, David Cosenza. He says busy leading a mission trip to Chihuahua. How do they say that? Next week, lots of prep work, he says. So definitely,
right.
Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Wow. Steven said my hours were cut in half during some of the pandemic. I missed those slow days and going for walks with our kids for hours. Yeah. I hear you. Garrett said we need to be like Spain, where businesses shut down and everyone takes a nap from 12 to 4 every day, taking them siestas. Yeah,
I've been taking them afternoon naps since I got full time, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
1 or 2 hours.
Is it the full time or is it the age catching up?
It's both. You know, when I was working 5 to 1, I would knock out for a couple hours and then have my evening. So I think it's both. I think it's both. Yeah.
Word. What's been going on with the basement now? Because we talked about what's going on in our life. Where are we at? Because we're getting to the end of this season, and I mean, this episode is called Thinking Out Loud. I think it's only best if we think out loud a little bit today. If you guys give us the grace and the space. Isn't that what people were saying? Give us the grace and the space.
I'm old, bro. I don't know about any of that new stuff y'all be talking about.
True or false? Do we know for sure after this season if we're coming back? I said true or false. Do we know? Yeah. Like, wait a minute. True or false? After this season, we may not come back to the basement.
Yeah. Thinking through it.
I would say there's a little bit of truth, maybe a little false. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows what God is doing? Actually, I have ideas for the last 2 episodes for 119 and 120. We'll talk about that later, but I think this episode, along with the next 2, would be good ways to end the season. Whether it just be this season of the basement, season 6, or this season in life. So we'll talk about it. But pray for us as we make these decisions. A lot of the decisions that we make when it comes to commitments like this, it affects the rest of our lives and our families, the church, everything that's involved with that. So pray for us. But let's start to talk about some of these news events, some of the things that are trending. Let's start off with something light. There is a hashtag going around, and it is called #Men2.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
#Men2.
That's smooth, too, how they did that.
Yes. I'm in favor. #Men2 has gained momentum online following Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard's trial verdict. #Men2 has booked a spot on Twitter trends list. I would say that this can apply to so many things out there. #Men2. A lot of times men get left out of conversations of injustice being done against us. Think about this. When was the last time that you were, maybe you were never in this type of situation before in life, but how would it go? How well would it go if you were in a situation and you tell your boys, yeah, my wife, when she gets mad, she starts putting her hands on me. See, look. You see?
Well, if it did happen, I wouldn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But that's where you gotta be quiet.
But you see how everything turns into comedy, right? When that comes up.
Yeah.
Hashtag men too.
Now, if I would have been like, you know what though?
Yeah,
confession time.
Yeah.
No.
It's Lynette beating you.
No. We're good with that.
But no, I know we're laughing. This is not a laughing matter when it comes to the abuse part of it. What I'm saying is that's literally how it is in real life. So if anybody might get offended at that, that was literally just showing y'all how it goes over in real life. If you don't know, then you might be offended at us laughing right now. But most of the men that are out there probably aren't offended by what we just said and what we just displayed, because all of us know what it's like if you were to say that. You see what I'm saying? That's why nobody took Terry Crews serious whenever he was. Well, nah, I can't say nobody took him serious. What I'm saying is there was a lot of people that didn't take him serious. Terry Crews, you know who Terry Crews is.
That
big black dude, like getting taken advantage of or being coerced into sexual activity with another man that he clearly could have just beat down.
Yeah.
Someone said that power was involved, and so he didn't put hands on the guy because he knew the other guy was more powerful than him.
Right.
But a lot of people didn't take him serious. Another thing, Tyrese, who's a singer, he went online one time and was crying his eyes out, saying his child support payments were crazy and he's not able to see his daughter. Everybody turned that into a viral moment and laughed. But imagine if a woman would go online and start crying and doing that. A lot of times nobody's laughing. We're taking that very serious. So there's a lot of topics where you got to, realize that hashtag should apply. Hashtag men too.
Yeah.
Yo, Crystal, she's wild. See, look, even ladies are laughing about it. Pastor, blink twice if Lynette Morales is hitting you.
What?
No, seriously though. Man, hashtag men too. So Johnny Depp won the trial verdict. Like he won. Like I think he got awarded $15 million. He should have got way more than that because he lost some Disney promo and
he lost a lot.
Man, listen. He should have got more than $15 million.
Yeah, that was a lot.
There's a lot.
Can she pay all that?
I don't even know how much she got, bro, for real. Especially because I think she's about to lose her spot with Aquaman, which was her biggest role. So
that's pathetic.
Yeah,
that movie was.
You know what's funny? I didn't even know anything about this abuse that she was doing.
Me neither.
And I didn't like her in Aquaman 1.
Nah, I didn't like Aquaman.
Yeah.
Right, to be honest, it looked like a souped up Power Ranger movie in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they were going for the Avatar look with all the colors.
It was just, come on, guys. Yeah. I thought that the suits that were involved could have been a little bit more like, I don't know, like they were actually being used. He looked like he just bought them at Walmart or something. It's wild.
Yo. Crystal, she's worth $2 million. She's forever gonna be in debt.
She's tripping.
Garrett, she's now appealing it and saying she can't afford to pay him. Well, I mean, that's how it is, man. I don't know where that's going. That's why I laugh at some of these lawsuits when it's like so much money. It's like, you're not going to get that money. But anyway, let's go forward with this. Hashtag men too. We'll look into this. We'll look and see how this story develops a little bit. I feel like people are going to use that hashtag for a few other things, and we'll see it pop up in the news. In other news, COVID-19 vaccine shots for kids under 5 could be available as soon as June 21st. Any thoughts on that?
I don't have kids that young, so
yeah, you can't. Yeah, you don't have nothing to say on that one. I hear you.
But I understand that dilemma that parents are in who don't want their kids to be vaccinated. Like, it can get complicated. You know what I'm saying? How do you interact with some of the rules and things that people are trying to impose?
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, bro.
We got 3 teenagers and now the 4-month-old. So, I'm not a fan of the COVID-19 shot, the vaccine shots for the kids under 5 at all. I'm throwing stuff out there. She said no changes. I'm throwing stuff out there for you guys in the comment section. If you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. We'll get to them. Let's talk about something a little bit more heavier. I read an article earlier that says there have been over 200 mass shootings so far in 2022. Now, I looked up what a mass shooting qualifies as, right? It's 3 or 4 deaths that qualify as a mass shooting. It has to be 3 or 4 people that, are shot down, died, in the event for it to be a mass shooting. Okay. So there's been over 200 mass shootings so far in the U.S. In 2022. Now, mass shootings have been on the rise in recent years. In 2021, almost 700 such incidents occurred, a jump from the 611 in 2020 and 417 in 2019. Before that, incidents had not topped 400 annually since the Gun Violence Archive started tracking in 2014. So, we have seen a spike. We've seen a jump. What's your thoughts on mass shootings? And we'll get into the particular ones. We'll get into the Buffalo one. We'll get into the Texas one. But in general, you've been seeing these gun laws being talked about. Enforcements. My almost 16-year-old last night, we were going to bed. And, of course, kids, they come up with deep topics while you're trying to go to bed. And she's at the door and she's like, hey, this whole mass shooting thing, like, why don't they just take the guns away? And I said, you sure you want to do that? You're going to start a war if you try to take those guns away from some people.
Yeah.
It's going to be civil war. It's going to be similar to Avengers Civil War whenever they were split. And you saw some of the superheroes saying, you're not going to police my superpowers.
Yeah.
It's going to be a war. And what's craziest to me is that there's going to be a war even amongst those that are being the police authorities. Yeah. So if they send the military in to go take guns from people, or the police, even amongst those ranks, there's people that are split down the middle. There's some police, there's some military men that say, no, we should not be taking these guns. What's going to happen then? Because it's not like Star Wars. It's not like, Order 67 or Order 66 can just happen. It's not like that could just happen where they just, like, everybody's just programmed to go and just take the guns and there's no fight in the middle of that. Like, there's going to be an issue.
Yeah, the reason why the Constitution gives or permits citizens to have guns is for the fear of the government having tyranny, really. Yeah. And so that's, how that came about. I think, for me, it's a very complex issue. The debates are what kind of guns should be banned. You know what I'm saying? And so that's pretty much the debate. But I understand people's concerns with gun laws and gun ownership. I would say that the ones, in my opinion, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong out there, but most of the shootings that do happen, where it's mass shootings, happen with people that actually aren't supposed to own a gun. In other words,
they found ways to get the gun even though they ain't supposed to.
And that's most of the crimes that take place, right? Yeah. So most gun owners are actually safe owners. That's just
absolutely
statistically true. You know what I'm saying? So I think it could develop like this idea that people who own guns are, people who are more at risk at causing mass shootings. That's actually not true. But the other thing too is people are looking to the laws and to politicians to fix this issue, but there's a hypocrisy in there too, because you had both parties sadly, we have a two-party system, but both parties who had the House and the Senate did nothing when they had both House and Senate. So that's telling you something. You know what I'm saying? So they bark at these issues, but when they had the power to actually do something and pass things through, they never did it. So what does that say? You know what I'm saying? If they, why is it that it's almost reactionary on their part to care about these issues, and when they actually had the power to do it, when they had both House and Senate to actually do something, even in the case of having the House, Senate, and the presidency, they do nothing. So that's both parties. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're looking to the politicians and to the world to fix this issue, you're dealing with the system that's, in my opinion, rigged that way. They're not going to do anything. It's just, when you had the power to do it, they did nothing. And so I think I think people are putting all their chips in to politicians and to the system, when the system itself it's corrupt. It's shown to be corrupt. It's shown to be hypocritical, and it's shown to be ineffective. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Just look it up. I just don't know why people bank on politicians to fix this issue. They're not going to do it. Yeah, they're not going to do it. Both sides.
And even to move this conversation forward with this mass shooting, Steven said something. He said, the crazier stat to me is that mass shootings only account for 1% of all gun deaths. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy stat right there. Crystal said it was interesting to see how many folks were heartbroken over the loss of children's lives, saying we need to do something to save our babies, but... And then she put ... I'm guessing that there were a lot of people that were saying about the mass shooting in Robb Elementary in Texas, we need to save our babies, but they're also the ones that are in favor of killing babies. I think that's the point that she's getting across there.
Right. And that,
And by killing babies, we're talking about allowing abortions.
Right. And again, people get upset at that because they think that you're not focusing on a specific issue. But I think it makes the point that there is a sense of hypocrisy involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even aside from the abortion issue, which I'm not placing it on the side because it's not important. I mean, our church, we were involved in that ministry. But I'm telling you, factually speaking, when you just look back at everything, both parties have done nothing when they could have. It's telling you something.
You're talking about abortion right now, right?
Any issue.
Well, okay. I thought you were talking
highly politically charged.
I'm talking. I thought you were talking about recently that that pro-life organization that had the chance to vote for against the like criminalizing and all that for those that would commit abortions, and then everybody got mad at them and said that they sold out. There was a bill that was passed. I think it was in Kentucky or somewhere like that. And there was a lot of pro-lifers mad at the organization because they didn't vote in the right direction. Oh. They pretty much had the chance to vote and swing it one way, which would have been for pro-life, but they got scared and went a softer route.
Yeah. They
softened their approach.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but that I did see that online just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I'm saying this because I've seen some certain posts out there of people saying we got to vote right. This is why we got to, hit the booth and vote. And cool, if you want to do that, that's fine. What I'm saying is if you're banking on this system that's has already been set up, has already had both parties in charge of it and did nothing, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? I love the two kingdom idea, Augustine's two kingdom idea. That's the fallen kingdom of the world that's going to have fallenness in it, a broken system. But I'd rather be preoccupied with the kingdom of God and invade that other kingdom, if you will. I'm not saying disengaging from it, and I think that's where the Desert Fathers,
I was just gonna say,
get a little bit
cue
wrong.
The Desert Father reference.
But I learned that they actually maybe God used it to build a contrast between the Greek monastics, because they believed that you should avoid temptation and avoid excess so that you can be beneficial to the culture you're in. The Desert Fathers thought, no, we got to completely abandon the whole thing because the whole thing's corrupt, right? And so I think a little bit of that is wrong, but I understand like there need to be holy, there need to be consecrated before the Lord. It's just that I think that consecration and personal holiness should be so that we're salt, right? And so, but anyway, I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Oh, the two kingdom idea. I think we should be engaged in it for kingdom advancement. But I think a lot of people think that politics and all that's going to fix these issues. And I'm saying, yo, the whole system's jacked up. It's just, it's sad. It's a sad situation. I like to think that there probably are good people in those positions of senators and Congress people that are involved, but they've done nothing. I've seen nothing done, and they have no answers. They just have a lot of bark, a lot of complaint, a lot of debate, but nothing's being done. Why is it that somebody can go to a school, and why isn't there like a lockdown system in our schools? If one of these dudes are in the hallway and something pops off, lock up the classrooms. You could have bulletproof windows. You can lock up the, what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you can do.
I think there are things that are put in place. They even do drills. I remember going to school and they did drills, but when it happens in real life.
Right. So I saw a school that actually will lock down the doors. They have cameras that are directly tied to the police station a couple miles away. There are things you can do, man, to help with a situation like that. And we're funding, other countries billions of dollars. Why aren't we pouring into our school systems to be safer? I don't know, man. It just
if you do that, I guess there would be people that would say, what are you trying to militarize these schools? You're trying to allow the government to have systems put in place where they can lock doors from, remote situations. Right.
Well, it's a public it's a public school.
Right. Then it makes you rethink, like, wait a minute. If it is a public school and the government is in charge of that public school, now I might not want my kid in that school. So now it starts opening more conversations. So I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying, man. I'm not against any of these options for the most part. It was a sad thing that happened to this elementary school and the teachers that were involved. Even the husband that heard his wife was killed and he ended up having a heart attack right afterwards. You heard about that?
No. Who's this?
So in that school shooting, one of the teachers that got killed and the husband died of a heart attack.
Sad, man.
Yeah, man. Well, the right before that, I believe it was right before that. It could have been right after that. I can't remember the exact dates on all of this because everything kind of blends together. There was an 18-year-old suspect. There was an 18-year-old man in Buffalo, New York that went to a supermarket and he started shooting people. He killed 10 people. He had a manifesto. He had I guess they had evidence of him saying, I want to kill black people. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
We weren't podcasting that week.
Yeah. He believes in the great replacement idea, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they believe? Where people of color are supposed to replace
some type of supremacist.
Yeah.
White supremacist.
Tucker Carlson, they said, is also he's been kind of alluding to that idea. So he kind of gave some fire to it. I don't know. That's what I heard, but I just think it's evil, man. It's I don't know what else to say. It's evil. White supremacy is real. You know what I'm saying? And that ideology can push someone to do something like that. People don't have hoods or burning crosses out there, not that I know of around here. But I think that the outworking of that ideology is still, it's global. It's happening in countries, and it's happening here. It might be like smaller and less frequent or something like that, but it's still a problem.
Well, here's something that my kid brought up last night. She heard that there was a mass shooting last night or the day before. And in that mass shooting, wherever it was a black man that did it. And he was actually killed on the spot. I don't know if the black man tried to surrender his gun. Didn't the white dude put the gun down and surrender himself when the cops came, or what? How did they apprehend the person?
I'm not sure.
But there was somebody I saw that said, well, why did the black guy get killed and the white guy didn't? I don't know. I didn't look into details. I don't know how the police arrived onto each scene. If they came to one scene and the guy was with his hands down already, I don't know. But these are questions that the culture is asking. These are questions that are out there.
I mean, to be honest, you know, the media, and historically the media has vilified people of color, men of color, particularly black men. That's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? And for evidence, look for this pattern that I've noticed, is that why is it that people of color in movies, when you talk about men of color, why is it that they have to be the gay one in the movie? You know what I'm saying? Like,
what, lately, right?
Well, I mean, it's a pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eternals. Why do they have to be the black dude? You know what I'm saying? You know, several movies I've seen where people of color end up being homosexual. It's like, yo, we're not all like that. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I mean? A lot of us came from hip hop culture, man. You go back 12 years and people are freestyling and calling each other gay as a bust.
Well, now it's embraced in the hip hop culture.
Yeah, you can't do it. But I'm just saying that to say, you know, it's I think the way they portrayed people of color, particularly black men, probably contributed to that. I think it's a real thing, and you know, yeah.
Well, they're also using gay people as representations of a bunch of different groups too. So if there is a black gay man, now he gets to be the representative of the gay community, and the black community, and the black male community, and depending on how old he is, the black male community of that age group.
Right.
No, sir.
Right.
You don't speak for us.
Right.
So
I love some of the Southern Baptist black preachers who spoke against homosexuality being a civil right issue. They took offense to it, and they spoke up against it because the homosexual community wanted to
ride the coattails of the civil rights movement.
Like, yo, we're like y'all, you know, we're the victims, we're this and that. Don't even go there. You know what I'm saying? So, mad shout out to those pastors in the South who just, you know, from the pulpits, were rebuking, you know, the homosexual community for making it almost like a civil right issue.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. You know, the reality is you can choose your preference. You can't choose your skin. You know what I mean? That was the whole point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see if this video stays up, by the way. You can't say stuff this anymore.
Next episode, I was thinking we could even talk something on, you know, this thing that they call Pride Month. But yeah. Yeah, I thought we haven't done an episode yet where we just blatantly talk about homosexuality.
Yeah, bro.
And with us drawing near to an end of this season, we got to do it. We got to do it. So the next episode probably won't be next week because we're going to be on vacation. But 2 weeks from now, we got to touch on no homo, no pause, or pause. No homo.
Oh, now
we got to touch on that topic. Now we got to touch on that topic. You know.
It's the truth. The Bible's very clear about the issue, man. And
if
we get shut down, then that's confirmation.
We shall see, man. We shall see.
That's confirmation to the question: Are we going to be on next season or not?
Right. We might get canceled. Any news? Any updates on the Ukraine and Russia situation?
No, I think from what I understand, Russia is gaining ground. We're throwing money away. Sadly. It's inevitable what Russia is going to do. It's sad. I'm not saying we shouldn't help, but and it's probably wrong for me to say we're throwing money away. I don't want to get into the politics of that. All I'm saying is it doesn't look like a winning battle for the Ukraine. And it's funny that like I'm on Fox News and CNN here. I'm not seeing stuff on Ukraine anymore.
Right.
It's kind of like not even front and center.
That is weird.
No, I mean, it's indicative, right, of, the whole point. It's not making the headlines anymore. People want to move on to other things, gun rights is what I'm seeing.
Well, it's not making money anymore.
Yeah. So
yeah,
they're still in trouble. It's still happening, but
Mhm.
it's not something that people are being preoccupied with, and that's the world we live in, man. It's sad.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard any updates on it. We just prayed for it in my prayer group at my job. The elderly, I get together with them once a month and we do a prayer group. And 2 months in a row now, we just started it. This is our second month in a row. And both months, they brought up the Ukraine and Russia situation. And we made sure to pray for both sides because there's Christians in both countries. And also we prayed for the unbelievers in the country as well. So, Stevenson, what Wayne said.
Yeah. Now, we're speaking as people who have loved ones and family, friendships.
Yeah.
That are, so we're not saying this disconnected from the fact that we have families and people we love that are homosexual. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make that clear. Some people think it's just like a cold jab. No, we're calling it a sin because that's what the Bible calls it.
And when we do talk about it next week, or when we do, Lord willing, like, I might have a gay family member that jumps on and sees what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And sure. And I'm thinking of somebody very close to me. Like, if my cousin was to jump on, I'm thinking of her specifically right now. Like, it's going to be tough. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit. So
yeah, my cousin who I grew up with, man, he married a dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what's weird? He sees me and doesn't even say anything, bro. Like,
yeah, we gotta talk about this.
We grew up together, bro. Like, and he just walks right by me, bro. And he knows I'm a pastor, and that's probably very intimidating for whatever reasons, But one time I was gonna grip him up, be like, yo, like, what's good? You know me. Why you acting up? I saw his sister at the mall the other day, and
I was gonna make a joke, but I won't.
Yeah, don't do that. But you and your jokes, bro. I'm telling you, bro. You be getting yourself in trouble, bro. I'm telling you. Tiff, are you still on? Get your mans. Get your mans.
Oh man.
But,
yo, man, listen.
Yeah,
we got to reach out to somebody in particular. Like we need a little bit of help with this episode too.
I think so. Yeah.
So
and
I got an idea of somebody in particular that we could reach out to, and
yeah. I'm thinking of somebody too.
Yeah. Like there's a few, but one in particular that I've been thinking like, yo, very articulate and very scholarly. Gracious.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Two Wednesdays from now. What is that? 1, 2, 3. 2 Thursdays from now. It'll be a Thursday when we do it because next week would be a Wednesday. So it'll be 2 Thursdays from now. So we'll just throw it out there and see what happens from there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it'll be good.
So I got some bullet point questions. Now we can just go ahead. And with this Q&A, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the comment section. We're going to do Q&A for like the next 10 to 15 minutes. Let's use this as a speed round. Question for audience and for Los Wayne. Should pastors have flags of nations or any flags near them when they preach?
No.
Why?
Because I represent the kingdom. There ain't no flag for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into well, I love being an American. I love my country. Let me say that first. But I wouldn't say I'm patriotic to the point of being blind. I think there's like blind patriotism where you're so wrapped up in your country that you don't even admit its faults and its issues or whatever. But I don't think it's healthy. I think it's a distraction, in my opinion. I don't like it. I think the focus is on the gospel, on Jesus, on the Bible, on God's glory, and I don't think flags can capture that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying for me, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. That's me.
Yeah. I'm not a very patriotic person. At my job, there was residents asking me why I wasn't wearing red, white, and blue on Memorial Day. There's no disrespect to the United States or anybody that is patriotic it's no disrespect.
Yeah.
I just don't come from a very patriotic family or a very patriotic background. So that's not in me to I'm going to wear red, white, and blue today. You know what I mean? Like, even on Juneteenth, I'm not wearing African colors. Like I'm not, and even on Valentine's Day, I don't like, I guess maybe one part of me is just rebellious.
You just buy chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, you hate people telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's Valentine's Day, so now I gotta do something.
But see, that's the thing too,
you know what I mean?
with like sermons too. People saying, "What are you gonna preach on Christmas? What are you gonna preach on Easter?" It's like, yo, we're gonna stick to
the gospel.
Yeah, we do Easter and Christmas every Sunday.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I feel it. It's good.
Yeah. I don't do it. I would not preach with a flag near me or post it up. Would I say somebody is in, judgment, is under judgment for doing it? As long as it's not an idol.
Right.
As long as it's not an idol.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. Question for audience, question for Los, Wayne. Oh, somebody asked us. Oh, that was Scott. He said, how much money did we spend at the banner? Yo, we should deal with that in the last episode too. Like just the Banner of Truth conference and all of that.
It was dope.
We're going to have to deal with that. I don't want to mix it up with the next topic, which would be dealing with Pride Month. Let's do it the one after that, which would be episode 120.
We met a systematic professor at LBC. I'm looking forward to building with that dude.
Yeah.
Like, he said we can show up whenever, and it's in the library.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be tugging at him real quick and asking questions. So,
how much money did we spend? It depends. Like we got hotels. So does that count? We got hotels. We got, we were eating good food with Wes out there.
Yeah.
Eating good food.
Bro, we had some ribs, bro.
Oh man.
I had a full rack of ribs.
Yeah.
I did it, bro.
Yeah, that was good. And the books was up there too. We got a nice little shirt. It was great, yo. We spent money, but it was well spent.
Yeah.
A lot of good books and a lot of good resources. A very great time.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll dig into that coming up. Question for audience. What is your view of the altar call? And we don't have to go real deep into this one. I just saw this question. I thought I'll answer this one. When it comes to the altar call, I'm not against it, meaning I'm not going to, if I go inside of a church and I see them doing an altar call, I'm not going to just stand up and protest. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't think we really do the altar call at our church, and I don't think we're ever going to do it. But we do something like an altar call.
Yeah.
So those of you that are watching, if I'm just giving it in short, altar calls are a lot of times in Pentecostal churches or non-denominational churches. A lot of churches. Mm-hmm. At the end of service, they call you up to the altar. Do you want to give your life over to Jesus? Do you want to rededicate your life to Jesus? Do you want a breakthrough in your life? Come up here to the altar. So when I was growing up, you would get called up. They would prophesy over you. They would give you a get out of jail free pass card where you get to start over at life. There'll be times whenever you get healing. They would break spiritual ties in your life sometimes if you go up to the altar. What do we do that kind of replaces this or encourages a newness to life? I would say every week we do the communion table, the Lord's Supper, and it is a reminder every week. Go out and live holy. You are part of God's body. Live holy, like every week.
Yeah.
So, there in a sense we have a tradition, but I would say ours is biblical.
Yeah.
Because Jesus said that.
Yeah. Do your research on the altar call. It's interesting. Definitely out there.
Again, I'm not going to condemn somebody for doing it, but yeah. Another one. Let's see. Oh, wow. Now, this one's way too deep. We'll have to save this for another time, but the question was, would emotional and or physical abuse merit a separation? And this question more was directed toward divorce, meaning, would you say somebody should get divorced from somebody over physical abuse? Do they have grounds for abuse? Don't even answer it.
Yeah, no,
don't
complex.
Please don't.
That's
Please
complex.
don't answer that one right now.
That's complex. Yeah.
How about this? I got two more questions. One's lighthearted. One is a little bit tougher. So this one's lighthearted. Where's it at? Okay. What is the most inappropriate or unnecessary topic you heard a sermon preached on?
Topic, huh?
I'll start it off like this, just throwing it out there. I heard someone turn their testimony into a sermon. Like,
I've seen that so many times.
but like with the points, like,
oh dang,
yeah, like
sermon exposited the testimony.
Yeah, but they took a text. I can't remember the text from the Bible, but they actually showed how it was fulfilled in their life. Hey, I'm laughing because it's obviously heretical. It's obviously wrong, but I'm laughing because like there was a lot of amens that day. Had a whole title for the sermon and everything.
That's crazy. I think the one that really got me was this one guy. Later we discovered he was a Taoist. This was at a Word of Faith church I used to attend years ago. And he said that if you visualize, you can possess what you visualize. And then he said, because we have that ability, we do not have to pray in Jesus' name at all. You know. And then he said after that, that Jesus, 100% man, 100% God, he said that's 200%. That doesn't add up. So he denied the divinity, humanity, and, you know, there was a lot in that so-called sermon, that trash, whatever you want to call it. And I actually walked out, and it became a big deal. And letters were sent in, the letters were ignored, and they actually defended this dude.
Dag.
That one right there, bro, was like a turning point for me. That's when I felt like I need to get out of here.
Wow.
You know, so that was he pillaged the sheep. You know, he ravaged the sheep, and so. But then the men were like okay with it. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of I see you guys out there. Steven said the dangers of any rock music that had drums, including Christian music. Advice included avoid roller rinks and elevators because of the demonic rock music. So don't go to the grocery store either. Man.
Don't go anywhere nowadays.
Yeah. That sounds like some monk life.
That's crazy.
Nick Shepard said Jesus is Watching Porn with You by Todd White. Maybe not a real sermon. Yeah, I would agree. That's not a real sermon, but he called it a sermon. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's why I haven't heard that one. That's crazy.
Yeah. We might have to do a reaction video if it's bad enough. My goodness. Well, I'll ask one more question as we're going forward, and we'll end with this one. What was the most difficult time you had sharing the gospel of Christ? What was the most time? Or when was the most? Why was the most difficult time you had sharing the gospel of Christ?
I would say probably it happened in the Dominican Republic. We went into two places. We went into this place called Capotillo. Look it up. In the Dominican Republic, it's the roughest part on the island. Very intimidating environment. Very dark. that was tough. I was not comfortable under my own skin. I could just feel like fear and just like, because I had my kids with me too, and it was drug infested, drug lords run it. Very intimidating. But after 15 to 20 minutes, I began to draw some courage and just have like that mindset, like, look, forget my life, forget what's going on. I got to preach this to people. So there was that transition. And then the prison is called La Victoria in Dominican Republic. That place was just unreal. Unreal. Everything was corrupt. From the people that let you in, they try to get us to pay them to go in. And then security guards weren't doing anything. We visited the drug lord in there, and it was very, very intimidating. So, and again, it took me 15, 20 minutes to gather myself and be like, you know what? And then all fear was gone. It was just like, we're going to do this. And if they jump us or take whatever or do whatever happens, let it happen. You know, so what I learned from that experience is that you can go cross the threshold of, you know, getting into having like courage where you're not even worried about your life or what happens. There you can get to that point where you don't worry about self-preservation. You actually, God gives you grace to go across into courage, sharing the gospel in a way that you're not really thinking about anybody or what they're thinking about you. I think in a sense in America is just really hard. I think it's hardwired here to worry about ourselves and our reputation. So it might be very difficult here, of course, because of that. But I think the more you do it, the more you're involved, the less you seem to worry about yourself and your reputation. But maybe it's because I think people haven't gotten to that point of courage because they don't do it enough. They're not exposed to it enough, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Amen. I'll just deal with a difficult time because I can't think of the most difficult time. And this is, we will come to some concluding thoughts on this one. There was a time most recently, because I'm a chaplain in a retirement community. I was talking to somebody that was on their deathbed. They were dying. They knew they were dying. I knew they were dying. Everybody did. And we had to have a really tough conversation. Now, I had helped take care of this man for a while. I knew that he was not a believer. The tough part was when I found out that he used to profess to be a believer. So he looked at me, saw what position I was in, and said, you know, there was a time in my life when I could see myself doing what you're doing. I went to seminary. I believed everything that you believe. He said, but then I just realized one day I probably was believing in something that was false. So for the next 2 weeks until he died, I was able to have conversations with him little by little. And I tried to share the gospel. I mean, I didn't try. I did share the gospel with him. I tried to get him. I tried to convince him. I don't think I was successful in that. Not that it's on me, but I don't think he came to belief before he died. And that was really tough because he said he remembered being or having joy in his life being a Christian, and then he just stopped one day believing. It's a really tough conversation dealing with somebody who thinks that they've been here before or they know. There's almost nothing you can tell them. When a person not only is deaf, but now they've chosen to make themselves deaf by cutting off their ears, taking out their eardrums. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's difficult. So Nick Shepard said, with a co-worker who is Native American and practices shamanism, it took me about a month altogether, little by little. Yeah, That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, it's always tough, man. Especially, it's always the toughest times, or whenever it's a lot of times it's whenever it's somebody closest to you.
Yeah.
So
timing's important.
Yeah.
And one thing I tell people is, like, I have a relative who I shared the gospel with a couple times. He recently, this was like almost a year ago, he was doing heroin and got caught, knocked out, the needle in his arm and everything. That happened to him twice. So me and another relative drove to where he was at, pleaded with him to stop. I shared the gospel with him for 15 minutes, told him about himself. But every time I pick up the phone and talk to him, I'm not like, yo, you want to hear the gospel? It's almost like, yo, how you doing? Because he heard it already, and he knows what I'm about. So, yeah.
I do remember you saying that. Like, I remember you going through that, and that's tough.
It is, but the gospel was shared.
Yeah,
and we pleaded with him to change, and we'll see what happens. But preach it, and be available. Gospel preaching should be followed with availability. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Yeah, I hear you, Garrett. He said that's the hardest thing I've ever seen as well, to see someone willfully die without faith. It's heart-wrenching.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, because he's a death doula. So he knows.
Right.
So, yeah, man. So,
all right. Well,
we're going to get out of here.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today on The Basement, where theology meets the thoughts of life.
This was episode 118, Thinking Out Loud, Part 2.
Yeah. And we look forward to being with y'all in a couple of weeks. We are going on vacation next week. Pray for us and pray for our church. Pray for this event coming up, Beautiful Feet. We're going to be in...
giving pedicures and all?
No.
Beautiful feet.
No, I'm a thug, bro. I don't do that. I thought you were a thug too, but...
I won't be
we
there.
Gotta talk.
I'm not
we
with
gotta,
the pedicures.
We got to talk about this. I did not know this. Let me see your toes, bro. No, I'm joking. But nah, man. Pray for this event. We have a competition, breakdancing competition happening at McCaskey, and so yeah, a lot going on. It's an outreach we set up, so pray for that. Pray for our church. Pray for us and our families in this season. Scott, thank you so much. Garrett and everybody else. Nick, for those of y'all still watching, grace and peace to you. We'll be on in 2 weeks, and we appreciate all your love and support. Pray for us as we seek God's wisdom and moving forward with the podcast. It's been very, very encouraging for the years we've done it. We definitely need to pray and kind of like figure out how to move forward. But definitely think Wayne's all about the pore cleansing. He's getting his nails done. He gets his face done. Bro.
Yo, that's wild.
Pray for Brother Wayne. This is anyway. I can keep.
See, I'm not the only one with the jokes.
Driving that Lexus. He said, "Bro, it's a 2011, man. The bumper's broke. Come on, man. You guys, that's Wes's fault. I gotta get Wes.
Yo, God bless y'all.
All right,
man,
y'all.
Seriously.
Grace and peace. We love y'all and keep us in prayer. All right.
Yep. God bless.